Hello. Whoo, y'all. You don't know what it took for me to be here today. I mean, I've been here, but I tell you what, normally I set up about 12:30 just to make sure there's plenty of time and then I can leave and go do last minute stuff. No, today I went 10 minutes late. I am getting set up and everything just goes. But it's Friday and we're here. Am I in the right space? Oh, Bo's going to say, you're off center. You're not centered. It is what it is, y'all. Today, it is what it is. Hey, Laura and Cindy. Let's see. Oh, refereeing. Oh, that's never good, Cindy. I'm sorry. Anne is here. Hey, and Katrin. Let's see here. And yeah, camera issues, Carolyn issues. We got all the issues. Hey, Anne. Let's see. Donna is here. That's right. Talented and creative swans. I like that. Very good. Time to fire. Well, actually, that would probably be me, Laura, that you'd have to fire because I think it was my fault since I was 10 minutes late. Anyway, I think I started the stream before he had the phone camera hooked up. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'm sure it'll come about later on. Hey, Deborah Sue, glad to see you here. I'm just kind of scrolling through. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. Hey, Valera. Hey, Tish, glad to see you. A chilly gray day. We're about to get some chilly weather. I guess it's got to take, it takes time for it to make its way down to Florida. But Monday and Tuesday, I was telling the Dying to Knit people last night that Monday and Tuesday are supposed to be like record-breaking lows for us. So we're super excited, obviously. Hey, Carol, glad to see you. And yeah, Anne, how are you doing? I realized when I looked at your, I was making the whip picks that I didn't even notice your foot in the picture until I was making the whip pick. So I hope you're recovering well. Hello, Michelle. Glad to see you. Michelle is our sock cranker, by the way. When you hear me talk about my sock cranker, that's Michelle. Let's see. Okay, your ankle replacement is doing great. That's wonderful. I love it. Very good. And let's see who else. Debbie's here. Glad to have you, Debbie. And Cindy B. I think I said hi to you, Cindy. Hey, Kim. Can't fire the dyer. Nope. You're stuck with me. You just have to put up with me. Holy cow, Tish, you already have snow predicted for next week. Oh, all right. Well, it's a little early in the season. Well, maybe not. I'm sure you've had it earlier, but still. All right. I wanted to show you all something before we get started. This, it's that time of year. Actually, it's a little late for me. Normally, I do it before now. I buy a planner for the next year. And honestly, my planners vary so much. Sometimes I'll buy a cheap $10 planner on Amazon or Publix, wherever I happen to be at when I'm like, I need a planner. Or there have been times when I've been pretty extravagant in my planners. Well, this time I happened to be on the website of my color cubes. I don't know how many of y'all have seen those, but if you ever see me post a color palette card, for example, the currently celebrating pre-order, that color scheme came from a box of, actually I have 2 boxes, but it came from one of the boxes of this, just a huge selection of color schemes, color palettes that you can use for any occasion and for whatever. And I sometimes use them for dyeing. It's not my only inspiration, obviously. I have other things, but that is one of the places that I get inspiration from. And the lady who owns it, Sarah Renee Clark is her name. And I think the website is just colorcubes.com. But if you do a search, it's easy to come up with. But I was on her website. I was looking to see if she made stickers out of the Color Cube color palettes, because I thought that would be really cool at some point to include a sticker with the color palette that was used. So when I was on her website, I happened to notice that she has planners. And so I ordered one. And I will say, I'm not sure how practical this planner is, for me. I hope to use it more than I did my previous planner, which was just a cheapie, because this one, I'll show y'all, has a ton of coloring pages. So I especially loved, if you get back here to, excuse me, got hair in my face, to December, and you get the monthly calendar, then you get, excuse me, weekly calendars. So if you're somebody who really has to do a lot of planning in your, yearly planner, why can I not find it? Oh, here. You don't get a ton of these full page coloring pages, but like each calendar has coloring that you can do. And I used to actually make my own planner. I had like one of those, what are they called? Are they traveling? I forget what they're called. There's a whole movement where people will like take a notebook and they'll do all sorts of planning and tracking and things like that. I forget what it's called, but I used to do some of that, especially with my planner. I just don't have the time to make up my own, to draw out my own planner and all that stuff. I don't have time for that anymore. But I really like this one because of the pages. And who knows, maybe Morgan will help me color them. So anyway, I thought I'd show you all that. And then with it, if you order it, you get a coupon for a discount for the next year's. You just have to remember to use the discount the next year. But anyway, so I'm already starting to write stuff in for 2026, of course. But oh, Donna, you have the digital color cubes. Very cool. No sense of color. I find that very hard to believe. Hello, Joe Carroll. Glad to see you here. And Bo says we can fire him. You should be so lucky. I don't think so. That's not happening. Oh, that's a good idea, Laura. So if you're left-handed, you might like the planner from, is it Jade Lynn? Is that how you say that? The spiral is at the top of the page instead of on the side. That's awesome. That's very cool. All right, Traveler's Notebook. Yeah, that sounds right. But there's something, I forget the name of like the practice, some kind of journaling, but I don't remember now what it is because it's been so long since I've done it. I ain't got time for that anymore. All right, I didn't say it, but for those of you who might be new or showing up later, I'm Carolyn with Swan City Yarn, so I'm glad you're here. We're just doing our weekly Swan roundup, going through all the things. So I'm wearing, and it's a little warm in here today because the sun is out. So I'm kind of like pulling on it. I'm wearing, this is I think it's the polka dot scarf is what it's called, by Church Mouse Yarns. And I used it with 2 skeins of a mohair blend, which I don't carry anymore, just because, for example, with mohair, I can wear it and I will wear it. Like I'll take this and then I have a black one that's similar to it. I will take with me at Thanksgiving and probably even next week. However, I'm always aware that it's there. And some people are very sensitive to mohair being a little itchy. I'm more doing this because I'm a little bit warm today because cold weather hasn't gotten here yet. But I do love these. But if I were to make it again, I would use the fluffy lace blend, Surrey alpaca and silk for sure. But I do like these, and they're very warm. Day timers planning. Yeah, I've seen those day timers. That sounds very familiar. Don't they have a system of notebooks in general? I think I've used a day timers at some point in the past. Hello, Susan. Glad that you are here. Changed over from Insta to YouTube for a better view. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it? Yeah, I realized something, by the way. If you are on Instagram watching, I don't think it always shows me all the comments. I'm trying to remember what happened recently that I realized, oh, there were some comments on there that I did not see during the live. First of all, I don't see them here with the YouTube comments on my regular screen anyway. I have to open up Instagram on its own and watch there for comments, but for some reason, I don't think it's showing me all the comments, unfortunately. So YouTube might be the better place. I hate to say that, but yeah. All right, let's see. You're right, Kim. Ain't no firing Bo, and he can't quit either. So he's pretty much stuck. All right. I wanted to mention something. Normally I save important announcements for the end. However, there's something that I tend to forget. So I wanted to let you all know, if you ever are ordering multiple things or you order multiple yarns over a series of, several days. For example, I had someone email me. I think she has 3 orders that I'm waiting on. And she no, she didn't email me. She left a comment on her order that said, "Hey, you can hold this, or you can send this with my other order." And she named the order. And so I'm happy to do that, and I will do that. And if you're someone who's paying, multiple shipping charges, then once I add up the shipping charge, then I'll refund whatever shipping you didn't use, if that makes sense, or I didn't use. So because I don't know if y'all know this, I didn't know this before I started shipping for the business. There is always a base cost. So for example, I don't think you can order a mini skein, and I think with the recent increases in the postal systems, their postage, I'm pretty sure that I don't have any orders that go out for less than $4. So a 1-ounce mini is a minimum of $4 just to make a shipment. But, and some of this depends on where you live, apparently. I don't know, ease of delivery. I have some people who live closer to me who get charged more than people who live farther away from me. So I don't know if it's just, do they somehow categorize addresses? But I digress. The point is that you could order, maybe 2 full skeins, and you're probably going to pay, I'm guessing here because the prices have gone up recently, but about $6. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's always like a base fee that you're going to pay, but it gets cheaper as you go up, at least within a certain range. I haven't had to ship anything that's over like 3 pounds. So I don't know if it gets higher as you go up. But so my point is, if you know and you are willing to wait for a yarn order and you want me to come, hold an order, then so that I can combine shipping and maybe you get a little bit off of your shipping, I'm more than happy to do that. Otherwise, if you have, for example, right now, the 2 big things are people who, my Dying to Knit people, I'm shipping out their orders. And then I'm also busy shipping out the currently celebrating pre-order. So I was looking, cross-referencing my spreadsheets to see, okay, this person ordered this person, and they ordered, both here, and they're both ready to go out, so I can ship them together, save them some shipping. However, I won't save it if I know that it's going to be more than like 2 days. I don't want you to have to wait, and I can only assume that you don't want to wait for your order. So I'll go ahead and ship. If one is ready and I know that the other item isn't going to be ready for a couple of days, then I'll go ahead and ship the first one. Does that make sense? So it's all up to you, but you just have to leave me a comment, or you can even send me an email. And given my current rate of busyness, I'm able to keep track of those. If it gets to a point where I'm like, I can't keep track, then I'll let y'all know if that policy changes. But in the meantime, if you want me to hold your orders, just let me know, because I'm happy to do that. So, all right, moving on. What else? Oh, and so orders, speaking of orders going out, if you combine orders, if I'm doing something like the Swan stitch marker giveaway, each separate order gets its own stitch marker, even if I combine them. That's just how my brain works. So that's how I do it. For example, I have one lovely lady who I think I'm combining 3 orders. And because they're separate orders, she will get a stitch marker for each order while they last. They have been going out with wild abandon, let me tell you. This is what I have left. So you can see there's still a few black and all the others. And so, yeah, I just reach in and grab one out, stick it on your yarn. So those are going out, just so you know. Let's see what else. Okay, and I also wanted to tell you all, I think I promised you that I was going to pick out the prize for the November fiber challenge. I haven't quite picked it out completely, but I know what I'm going to give away. I'm going to give away 2 skeins of fluffy sock. So that's the fingering, alpaca, cashmere, and silk blend. Which 2 skeins it will be, I'm not sure yet. I didn't pick. I thought, well, since I'm going to Alabama next week for the Fiber Festival, I will pick the 2 skeins immediately after that, and I'll let y'all know what those 2 skeins look like. Okay. Oh, thank you, Kim. I'm glad you like them. Yes, I was very pleased with them. I think I'm going to start doing this more often, giving out Swan stitch markers, just because I think it's so fun. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to do something else at some point because you might get tired of having a bunch of Swan stitch markers. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to come up with something else that I'll have made into a stitch marker. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. It is that time. And I was so afraid that I was not going to get the Swan projects loaded because I was like, we got 10 minutes left and I got to get these pictures uploaded. So let's go ahead and go through them this week. They're always great, but for some reason this week I was like, oh, that's so awesome. Oh, that's so awesome. So these are the pictures that I grabbed. So this first one is by Jane Ford, and she did, it's called the Edinburgh Lanes by Helen Stewart. And she used No So Bright, which is a red of mine, and she combined it with Office Party. That was a Christmas colorway from several years ago, red and blue. And then she combined it with another teal. And well, you all know I love a red and blue combination. And especially, you have to have the right red and you have to have the right blue. And I think this particular combination is just gorgeous. She did such a good job on this. So that was that one. And then Anne using her Under the Mistletoe in a pair of socks. And I think she paired that with Mirror is what that looks like to me. But I suspect it's a vanilla sock. And as she said, at least I'm knitting. Yes, thank goodness. And Lonnie is doing a sweater. I think she said that this one is going to be turned into the state fair contest that she does every year. So it's called Little Boneyard Sweetheart Sweater, which I love. And she's got Paint the Town Red up there, and that green is Sword. Looks so good. Sword is a nice, almost kind of a neon bright green. It's kind of similar to Leprechaun, actually, too, if you like that. And then let's see, where are we at? This, okay, so this is Lori Arnold's beginning of her Sean sweater. I think I showed y'all last week her swatch, and this is the start of it, which I absolutely love. She's got a brown, kind of a very brown and cream colored yarn, and then she's holding it with vintage on fluffy lace. And I love the way that's coming through and just kind of marling all those colors together is beautiful. And then another top is this one. Cindy is doing the Beautifully Basic Tee in Nanata's house, which I love. Talk about another red and blue combination. Hubba hubba. And if y'all haven't seen her post, she said that she is doing helical knitting. However, she's having some issues with the increases, if you're familiar with the Beautifully Basic Tee. And that is one thing about helical knitting, is that you kind of have to work around it if you're doing increases. It's kind of a pain. But I have to say, it is looking absolutely scrumptious. If I may toot my own horn, I nailed it out of the park. Or I hit it out of the park, sorry. All right, this one, Linda is doing this is the DRK Everyday Sweater by Andrea Mowry. And this is a sweater I have on my to-do list, actually. And she is holding together After Midnight on Trusty Sock with Slate on fluffy lace. And I love it. Yeah, it's just a gorgeous combination. This was one of the kits that was available, or color combinations that was available in a Swan sweater kit. So I'm loving seeing it knit up. After Midnight is such a deep dark blue, and that slate is just kind of toning it down a little bit, the darkness. And yeah, I think that's such a cool effect there. And Laura, oh my gosh. This is the Sorrel Tea by Wool and Pine, and she is using driftwood. And I'm curious, Laura, I don't think you're not doing helical knitting on this. Am I right? I've always thought this pattern is such a good pattern for really wildly variegated colorways because of the way you do those. I forget what they're called, those lines of, you can see those lines of stitches going down that she's got there. And I think that is probably what's helping it to kind of break up the different colors, because driftwood is kind of one of those skeins that you would think might do some pooling and all of that. So I'm really interested to see what the rest of the tea looks like after the yoke is done. It's just gorgeous. I'm loving it. And of course, that's yet another pattern that is on my list of to-dos. All right. I don't remember if I showed this picture or not. I know I showed the project. Terry made the triagonal shawl, but I just loved when she posted this picture. I was like, wow, that is just such a stunning staging of her triagonal. She used Under the Mistletoe. I think, I can't tell. I thought maybe she had left out one of the colors in there, but now I can't tell because it looks like scarlet and velveteen are both in there. So, yeah, and Cavendish, and it's either mossy or muir. So I'm not sure. Maybe she did use all the colors in there. Anyway, it just looks stunning. I'm a little envious. It's a good thing she's not around me with this scarf or shawl, because it might not go home with her. All right, and then I have two projects that are being made from sock blanks. So, and I love that Cindy posted this, because on the left, you see the sock blank, and you see how the color is put down. That's a double knit sock blank. And then you see over on the right how it's knitting up. And I've noticed that double knit sock blanks, if color is put down in this fashion, that is the look that you tend to get on the right hand. It's kind of like a speckle, but it's not. It's just so interesting. Like, you don't see that color patterning with really, I don't think, anything else. But with sock blanks, if you like that look, that's definitely, you get that from double knit sock blanks that have color put down like this. And one of the reasons for that is because if you think about it, a double knit sock blank, you've got two strands that are knit through the piece together, and they're laid out in like a blanket, well, like you see there. But because there's two strands together, it adds some thickness to it, and it's harder for the dye to get all the way through. And so you've got some bare yarn in there, which leads to what you see in those socks, that bare yarn poking through. And so, like I said, it's almost like a speckle pattern, but it's not. It's such a unique look. I love it. And then Debbie posted her socks that she knit. I meant to look up the name of this colorway. I think I remember it. This was a double knit sock blank that we did. Gosh, I think it was part of a Christmas Advent. That it included a double knit sock blank on the last day. But I can't remember the name of it, but I remember it had some black and then a bunch of colors, and the color was laid down in that fashion. So you can see, you get that kind of color patterning throughout the sock there again. So yeah, so if you like that look, that's, you can definitely get that in a double knit sock blank for sure. Now you can get single knit sock blanks too. And you're not going to have quite as much of that because it's single knit in one layer rather than two strands being knit through together. Let's see. Cindy, you definitely did. I love the blues as always, but this is, yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. That was one of my favorite shows too. Although, do you know, I don't think that I ever did finish the entire show. I think, because aren't there like at least 14 seasons. And I think at one point I stopped watching because I got distracted on like season 9. And then I came back and I think I watched up to like season 11 and I've gotten distracted again. I need to go back in and keep watching the show. So Laura, no helical yet, but you will do it in the body. Oh, dip stitches. You know, I almost said that and I was like, I don't want to look like a doofus. So I'm not going to say dip stitches. Dip stitches. Yes. You know how I know that? Because I started a sorrel tee at one point and ended up tearing it out and never got back to it. I'm very disappointed in myself. Okay. So I'm looking at my notes. I had some handwritten stuff. And I have a tendency to kind of skip over those and then I don't get to them. And then afterwards, I'm like, duh. Okay. What am I working on? Well, not a lot. Mainly dyeing yarn. But I did get a little bit of knitting done. And I cast on my Swan sweater last week. I want to put that there. Bo says, you'll hear paper rustling. Can't have that. I'm just giving him a hard time. Okay, I did do my whole 2 short rows. So here we have it. There's the neck. Look at that. So this is burnt on squishy worsted, and I'm holding it with nautical wheelers on fluffy lace. Y'all, look at that combination. I just am so in love with that. And I meant to post a picture as soon as I got my cast on done, but I literally, it's been, about to lose a stitch. It's been late in the evening every night by the time I do some knitting, and I just never got around to taking a picture. So I lazed out. I didn't laze out. I just decided I didn't have the time and the bandwidth to do the tubular or Italian cast on. I just did the old Norwegian, or what is it? The twisted German. I always get it confused. The twisted Norwegian, old German, or is it old? I think it's the twisted German or old Norwegian cast on, which is very similar to a long tail, but it gives just a little more give to it, a little more stretchiness. And I think it looks just fine. So that was my cast on. And so I've made it through the top portion that sits up here. And I did notice I'm already on the same page as the splitting for sleeves. So hopefully it'll go by fast. I would like to get, let's see, where are we at? We leave on Wednesday for Alabama. So I would could I split for sleeves by Wednesday? Yes, I could. Will I? We shall see. But that would be nice because then I could just be working on the body while we're gone. So, Linda, who is the maker of your project? Bath again? Sorry, you'll have to be clearer. You know me, once I stop talking about something, I'm like, it's gone. So let me know. Let's see, Cindy, so are they still making that? I did not know that. We're talking about, what are we talking about? What's the name of this? It was Nanata's house was the name of the colorway. Call the midwife. Good grief. That's what we're talking about. They're on season 5. I didn't realize they were still making it. Wow, that's crazy. All right. Angie, I just redid a tubular cast on for the second time with 200 stitches. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, project bag. Okay, Linda, I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I'm just kidding. I have to tell myself, you can't be judgmental. Sometimes I'll see somebody post something or say something. I'll be like, if you'd watch the live, you'd know. So I got this at the fall vendor market over in Cocoa. And I have yet to take off my tag. I don't know what my problem is. But it's by the Fiber Turtles. And I was talking about them. You probably saw it, Linda. The Fiber Turtles, they are a group of, it's 2 sisters here in Florida. And they've been making project bags for a while, but they just got their website up. So if you look, the Fiber Turtles, they've got a bunch of cool project bags. and they have a website that you can shop now. This was the matching little Notions pouch that I got with my bag. So yeah, they have this, they have taller styles. They've got, you name it, across the board. So yeah, tell them that if you buy something, tell them that I told you about them. So they're great though. Trish and Robin they're awesome. Awesome ladies. Okay, Cindy, so season 15 is already up to 1971. Okay. Sure, I know. Whoo, you talk about short-term memory. Oy vey. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so that is that. I wish I had more projects to show you, but for now, between now and Thanksgiving, gonna be a little bit limited on that. However, I can show you what is in the shop. Mainly updates. I have been busy dyeing up stock. The October, that fiber vendor market cleaned house, which I'm so thankful for. But I don't know if y'all can see over there, my trusty sock wall has some bare hooks that I am, some of it is ready to go up on the wall. I just haven't done it. But between now and Tuesday, I'm trying to really get some more yarn on the walls to take with us to Alabama. So what have I been dyeing? Nautical Wheelers. Here it is on Swanky Sock. I dyed it on multiple bases. It's brand new on Starry Sock. Look at that gorgeousness. Love that. And, but it's on multiple bases. And then also I did Under the Mistletoe. Again, here it is on Swanky Sock. If you love a deep dark red and traditional, red and green Christmas colors, you got that there. And I especially love, I dyed it on some more on fluffy lace, and I retook the picture for the website because the last time I dyed this up, I think I had maybe too much water, not too much, but I had more water in the pan. And so some of the red bled just a little bit, and there was a little more pinkiness to it, which it sold, and I'm assuming that y'all like it. I hope you love it. But when I re-dyed it, I didn't have as much water in the pot. And so the red kind of stayed where I put it and didn't bleed into any pinks. And so I was like, ooh, hubba, hubba. I like that. So, and I mean, I love pink, but anyway, there it is. And Velveteen I restocked Velveteen. So if you're looking for that, here it is. Love it on Fluffy Sock. And then look at the difference. Fluffy, or, the alpaca bases always take color just a little bit differently. Here it is on Silky Sock. Look at that loveliness. So that is out. These were in your newsletter, some that didn't make it in the newsletter. Cookie Crumbs. I have dyed some Cookie Crumbs. So if you've been looking for that, Pomp and Circumstance on just a few bases, that's that nice deep dark black. If you're looking for that. Hey, Deb. Glad to see you. And okay, what's new? Because we had Dying to Knit last night. I can't show you all the Dying to Knit colorway because I already shipped it out. All those that were ready to go, they've been shipped. And as I told y'all I think I told y'all this last week, our postal driver now picks up. I schedule a pickup the night before, and she picks it up in the morning when she does the route, and she picks up about 11 o'clock. So I have to have the orders done and out by the front door for her to pick up. And so that's been going really well so far. I haven't had any issues that I'm aware of. And she's such a sweet, sweet lady. So love that happening. But because of that, all the Dying to Knit yarns that were ready to ship have shipped. So you can't see the Dying to Knit colorway. However, you can see the Coordinating Cousins, and the pre-order is open to everybody. I dye them up for the Dying to Knit people. But if you like the colors, then you may order them as you wish. So our theme this time was You've Got Mail, was the inspiration movie, which we all, I think, if anybody in the group doesn't like the movie, they kept their mouths closed. The rest of us all were like, oh, I love that movie. I watched it. We have one person who's watched it like more than 20 times. I think that's a sign of a good movie right there. And it is a good movie. Okay, so this first colorway, which, ooh, that's showing up like orange on my monitor. I hope it's not showing up like that for y'all. This is a rustic gold color, Bouquet of Sharpened Pencils. That's a line from the movie. And then this one is called Fox Books. Now, oh, that's showing up perfectly. So if you notice, if you just take a look at this as a whole, it's an orange red. But if you really look at the individual kind of sections of the skeins, you notice that there's little sections of orange and there's little sections of red, which that's kind of how I dyed it to come out. And so I was so pleased that it actually showed up in that way. So it's kind of a more, a little more complex than just your usual, oh, it's a fall orange or a fall red. It kind of looks reads red to me, but you can definitely see the orange. I'm just admiring my own handiwork here. It just looks so good. Anyway, that is Fox Books. Someone mentioned last night, they said, oh, that would look good on one of the sparkly bases. And I realized none of the sparkle bases are on the pre-order listings for those because it's not an option for Dying to Knit people. And that's mainly just because I have to use vinegar to dye those bases. And sometimes colorways, the dyes do take differently depending on whether you use vinegar or citric acid. And it's not something that I can just, play around with. And I didn't want to have to deal with that. So sparkle bases are not a part of the Dying to Knit subscription. However, if you are someone who thinks, oh, I'd like to have that on whatever sparkle base, let me know and I'll get you set up. It's no problem. And then if for some reason the colorway looks totally different because I used vinegar, then obviously I would reach out to you, let you know, and then we go from there, decide what you want to do. So it's just easier to deal with it, after the fact as a pre-order. So let's see. Oh, thanks, Liz. I know that is a good colorway. Laura, is there a pink undertone in the pencils? No, I would not call that pink. There's some darker, almost bronzy tones, maybe more orange, but not pink. I would not call that pink. No, not at all. More of a bronzy, brown, orange undertone for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking. The picture on the website to me looked good. But one thing that I have noticed, so I have my phone, which is where I take all my product photos, but sometimes on my desktop, pictures will look a little different. And then, so I've got my phone, my desktop, I've got my laptop, and my iPad. So 4 different screens. And there are times when something will look different on every single screen. So yeah, I can imagine sometimes shopping online is not the easiest thing. So if you ever have questions about something, just let me know if I can, help clarify or something like that. Velveteen would be beautiful on Starry. You're right. I didn't do that yet, did I? I did it's on Sparkly Sock. Oh, there's only one skein left. So, but you're right. I think it would look it doesn't know what to focus on. It would look very good on Starry Sock. I had to put that on my dye schedule since I'm beefing up the Starry Sock collection. My goal after I finish my Swan sweater is to do a sweater in Starry Sock. I don't know when I'll get there, but that's my goal. So we shall see. Looks a bit coppery. It is a little bit more coppery, but definitely more of a gold than a copper color for sure. Yeah. Let's see what else. It must be the lighting. That's very possible. Oh, interesting, Deb. It looks very different on my monitor today than it did last night. Yeah, and sometimes I think daytime versus nighttime makes a difference because last night when because I've been trying to dye up extra yarn before I went out for dyeing to knit, I put some minis in the pots and I was dyeing up Cavendish. And Cavendish takes two different dye powders. And after I had it in the pots, I'm looking at it and I'm like, did I mess those up? Like I went back and made sure that I didn't have the wrong lids on the wrong dye containers because Cavendish did not look like Cavendish in the pot last night. When I got up this morning and checked it, oh, it looks like Cavendish. Something about it being nighttime. The colors looked totally different out there. So, Kim, that's what I'm going to do with my slate. Oh, I love it. Very nice. All right, rose gold. Yeah, see, that's not what I would call that at all. I would say, hopefully, the picture that I have on the website looks different because it's not. I would not call that a rose gold at all. Although it did look like rose gold on my Oh, you know what part of the problem might be? We have this on a different mode. Let's try this. My light. I usually have it on the cool white setting. That's more like daylight. No, it still looks kind of orangey to me. It's not definitely. It's definitely a golden yellow with burnished brown undertones, and not even that brown. But if I had to pick, that's what I would say. All right. Well, now that I've made a mess of that colorway. All right, what else? Oh, so currently celebrating. I just wanted to let you all know that it is being shipped out as I get them dyed up. So a few skeins have already gone out and a few more will be going out next week. Actually, a lot more will be going out next week. And then the last remaining skeins will go out as soon as I get back from Alabama, because I'll finish dyeing them up before I leave. And then Morgan will process them and get them labeled and all that good stuff. And then they'll go out as soon as I get back. So if you don't mind, if you get yours early, don't post any spoiler pics just in case somebody wants to be surprised. And I am dyeing up some coordinating colorways for that. And I will show those on the live, and I'll also do like a newsletter, whatever, or it'll show up in the newsletter so that if you're interested in that. It's a great colorway. I have to say, it dyed up. I did the first pot and I was like, oh, let's see what it looks like. Phenomenal. The colors just laid down so nicely. And yeah, it's just, and it's great for fall, I think. So it's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see. So, I thought there was something else I want to tell y'all, but I'm not seeing anything. So maybe I covered it all. Couple of things. So Bo and I are leaving on Wednesday. Bo, we're going to Birmingham, Alabama for the Alabama Fiber Fest. And Bo's brother lives in Birmingham. So we're going up a day early. Typically, we wouldn't leave until Thursday. But since we want to see Bo's brother, we haven't seen him in a while, then we're going to go up on Wednesday, and so that we can, so Bo can see his brother. And then we'll come back on Sunday. So, and not only that, Tuesday, the post office is closed because of Veterans Day. So just to let you know, I need to think about that. Okay. I might have to adjust some of my shipping plans. Anyway, you know how on one side of your brain knows something and the other side of your brain knows something else, but the two just don't even connect until all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a minute. Like when you put down Tuesday night, we're going to have spaghetti. But you also know that Tuesday night, we're going out to celebrate somebody's birthday dinner. Okay. So anyway, so I'm just thinking, okay, I might have to adjust some of my shipping plans. But anyway, the point is, I will be shipping on Monday. And then after that, and I always update the banner on the website. So I'll do that again. Shipping will be on hold starting Tuesday of next week through Sunday. Yeah, and the online store will be open most of the time while I'm gone, except Friday and Saturday. I'll have to close it down since we're out of state. But yeah, so I think that's the main thing. And as a result of that, oh, Linda, I will see you in Birmingham. I'm so excited. Yeah, I was wondering, sometimes people say, hey, I'm going to go. And I told Bo, I said, I don't know if I have any customers in Alabama. So, Linda, I'm so excited that you're coming. You don't live in Alabama, but that's okay. You don't have to. Duh. Where was I going with that? Oh, so because the market is open on Friday and Saturday, I won't be doing a live video on Friday. I will attempt to do a video at some point throughout the weekend, and we'll see if maybe I can get it to save this time to YouTube rather than deleting it right away. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, having said that, no live next Friday. I will send out a newsletter and I will be back the week after that. All right. I've got some fabulous upcoming Christmas colorways that I've already been working on. I just haven't released them yet because I have to dye more of the colorways. And I'll just tell you that my Dying to Knit people have given me good responses on them because I may have shown them a preview of the Christmas colorways. I have 3 brand new colorways coming out this season. So I'm very excited about that. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it. If you need me, you know where to reach me, Carolyn@SwanCityYarns.com. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, now's the time. It really does help me out. I am trying to get to a certain level, and then it just opens up more avenues on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed, it would help me if you do so. And hit the like, that would also help. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just stay here. I don't know, because nothing seems to be working. Dun, dun, dun. Are we leaving? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think we're going anywhere. Okay. Whew, Nelly.